Welcome to the Lake Show, where you can find out what's going on in and around Lake Loudoun. This show is brought to you by the Fort Loudoun Lake Association, a nonprofit environmental conservation organization that keeps Fort Loudoun Lake safe, clean, and fun. I'm Angela Howard, the Executive Director of Fort Loudoun Lake Association, and I work with zone managers and an in-house scientist who remove trash and debris daily, educate our community on pollution prevention, and monitor stormwater and the health of our streams. We're lucky today because the weather is gorgeous. We're out here. This is Volunteer Landing. I've got Volunteer Princess behind me and a beautiful Lake Loudoun. And we're so happy to have this weather. It's been raining here a lot lately, which has wreaked a lot of havoc for our organization. I have here today on the show Asher Freeman. He is our new zone manager in the western area of the lake. Hey Asher.
Hey Angela.
How's it going?
Good, how you doing?
We're glad to actually have you here. I know you're probably itching to get on the lake and pick up all that stuff that's been dislodged.
I sure am.
How's the rain affecting your job? Well, first of all, tell the audience what it is that you do.
Well, I'm the zone manager for the western area, and basically I keep the waterways clear, especially the main channels and people's docks. So I pick up trash, any debris that's around, and that includes a lot of trees, as well as logs, and basically any runoff that's come from the sides. If it's near the water, it's going to go in the water, and that's where I come in.
Well, that's an interesting concept, because really one of our mission has expanded to not just picking up stuff on Lake Loudoun, but really trying to teach people not to put stuff in Lake Loudoun.
Right. So it's a two-pronged approach. You kind of got to do a little prevention there.
Yeah, you got to do a lot of prevention.
Right.
Or your job's just going to get harder.
Right.
So well, first of all, it's rained a lot lately. And how is that, water levels up and down, and then of course this rushing and gushing of all the streams, how does that affect your job?
Well, the water raising kind of goes both ways. When the water comes up, it picks up the stuff that was on the banks and puts it into the mainstream. And then when the water goes down, stuff that was near the banks is now on the banks and easily accessible too. So I do both. I manage it when the water comes up and have a lot of stuff that comes in, and then after we get a little bit less rain, I can get on the banks and pick up some of the stuff that's deposited there. Mm-hmm. The water, what it's been lately, has definitely made for a lot of work coming up.
Yeah, and people call you, right?
Right.
Or they call us, and then we call you and say you've got a lot going on. So have those calls gotten...
Those calls have been coming in, that's for sure.
That's for sure. And so tell me what a cove looks like. When you first of all, the audience needs to know that you are out on the lake on a daily basis. One thing our organization is trying to do is to get Asher out there more. We are actively seeking funding for more hours for Asher to be out there. He's only part-time right now, which is only about 3 days a week, and there's got to be more work than you could even think about handling out there.
There could be a dozen of me, and we always have always plenty of stuff. Yeah, so getting out there more, we can get more stuff done for sure. And then weeks like we've had the past couple weeks where there's intense water up and down action, then it becomes even more necessary to have more people out there. It's just more man hours on the lake for sure.
Right. And one of the ways that we expand our man hours and try to keep our costs down is volunteer programs. And you've been a part of a lot of our volunteer programs. Right,
and that's been picking up recently as well. We've had local schools that have incorporated it into their curriculum to some degree.
Right.
I believe that was Webb.
So, yeah,
and CAK, and they both did a lot of really good stuff for us. And then, as well as them, we've had individual volunteers as well. Mm-hmm. People that are interested in, environmental stewardship, or people that have docks and see exactly what's going on. People that live on the water see a little bit more of the stuff that goes on there. So we've had volunteers come from people being able to witness that, and they'll tell their friends, and it's a real easy way to help give back to the community.
So that's really a good way to be an advocate for this beautiful asset that we have in Knoxville.
Absolutely.
Come out and volunteer. So that's the way that the audience, if you want to know how you can help us out, is to volunteer, and you can do that right on our website, FLLAKE.org. And you can volunteer for a volunteer event. You can put in a volunteer application, and we may use you Asher may call you to come out in the boat and help him pick up trash. So that's a way to spread out what we do. But I think what you were alluding to was that the more people that know what's going on in the lake,
right,
the more we spread back into the watershed, and the more people know how they can help keep it clean from the source point of pollution.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And so now we've had more individuals coming out that just have become aware of it and want to help out. You know, this is Knoxville's in a really nice location where we actually have such a large body of water running basically through the middle of downtown.
Did you grow up here?
Yeah, I grew up here.
So you grew up on this lovely river. Did you swim in it?
I have swam in it, yes.
And there was hesitation there. It's cleaner now, was it not so clean then?
It's definitely changed a lot in my lifetime. The pollution has gone down, as well as just the general debris has gone down as well.
Oh,
the debris is still the main focus now, but the water quality has definitely increased in my lifetime.
Well, that's good.
I still try to go out as much as possible off the clock as well.
On the water.
On the water, yeah, absolutely, because we've got the French Broad and Holston right above where we usually take care of.
They also tend to be the ones that dump the most trees in
right.
And one of the things that's great about this body of water is it is navigable down to all the way down to the ocean.
Yeah, you
so
can.
Your job really helps the boats be able to get through the channel without hitting these large debris.
Right.
And do you know what a Tennessee alligator is, right?
No,
what's that? Explain that?
No.
Now, Tennessee alligator are the things that you don't see. So it's not so much, what Asher does is not so much what you can see, because you can navigate around that, but it's the things you can't see. Those are the things that float 3 inches to a foot under the water that will break a prop. But those are the stuff that our zone managers like Asher go and get, because you see them.
Yeah.
You're out in the water on a daily basis, and you're what we call eyes on the water.
Right.
So you're a good monitor.
Yeah, and like you're saying, they're a little bit below the absolute surface, so you've really got to be aware and almost have to be looking out for that. So that's something I do, is looking for stuff that's just partially submerged. If you're just cruising in a boat and not really paying attention, you can hit something really large, or it'll come up on you before you even realize that it's there.
And like John Gear said from West Marine, there's no brakes on a boat.
There are no brakes on a boat. Yeah, I think everybody's had to learn that.
Yeah, and I think about water skiing, because I grew up water skiing.
Right.
This body of water, and if I hit something water skiing, I never did, thank goodness.
Yeah.
But if I did, I think I'd break a leg. So really,
absolutely,
you're like insurance.
Right.
For the people out there. Some people wonder what the funding goes to. It's really for Asher and his ability to have eyes on the lake and to get big things that you can't see or anybody else can see out of the way. So you're making it safer and more navigable. And for people who don't even like to get in a boat, they're on the shores, like right here at Volunteer Landing. We've had many volunteers on Volunteer Landing.
Right.
We've cleaned up some pretty bad stuff around here, haven't we?
It's amazing how much large stuff that you really can't see until you're right up on it. So yeah, in this zone, my zone especially out west, you have a lot more. Logs don't do them justice. They're full trees.
Right.
And a lot of times they're floating, but most wood at a certain point it'll take in enough water where you'll have a 40-foot tree that's 2 or 3 inches just below the surface. So yeah, it's one thing to hit your hull and maybe dent your boat, or even worse, damage your prop, which is no fun. But God forbid you're on a ski and like you were saying,
wakeboard.
I don't do that stuff, but I could only imagine.
Even a jet ski.
Even a jet ski, yeah. You might launch yourself pretty quick.
Really, you're like your insurance.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and you make it nicer for other people, even if you don't stick your feet in the water.
Right.
To help this organization with this advocacy and prevention, pollution prevention up in the watershed. Because would you say where does most of the pollution come from? That's on the debris side.
Most of the debris pollution is probably coming from the banks. When we get the water that comes up, it's going to pull the trees that have fallen and made their way to the water's edge. When the water comes up, it's going to come into the main channels.
What about the streams?
The streams, we have First, Second, Third, and Fourth Creek, and that's where that's more actual pollution, like trash.
Right.
And so our other zone manager, Jake, he deals with a lot more trash since he has the downtown area.
right here.
It's a lot trashier, or a lot more trash is coming into it.
Because humans.
Right.
It hasn't to do with Mother Nature or weather.
Right.
It's really the humans that.
Right. And
really,
oh, sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say that's something we need to concentrate on.
Absolutely.
It's stopping it at the source.
Absolutely. And that's something that's obviously it's affected by water levels as well. Mm-hmm. But like you said, that's a human thing. Even if the water levels aren't changing very much, there's still going to be trash coming in. You know, there might be times where there's less log debris coming in my zones, but trash is always being deposited, always being dumped down the storm drains, or you know, cigarette butts thrown out the windows, and that all makes its way to the river. People don't really think about how littering, you know, you think littering kind of sullies the side of the roads, but most of the litter really ends up in the water.
It takes one rain event.
Right.
One rain event,
right.
And everything that's on the side of the road ends up in our river.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a stream, in a river. And that's really where the education needs to be. And I hate to say this because I am from Knoxville, Tennessee, but some people consider us, we have a trash culture here. So if there's anybody out there in the advertising land that'd like to put together an ad like the old Indian with the tear, everybody remembers that.
The lone tear, yeah.
Yeah, and don't trash our Tennessee. I would love to work with them. Anyway, it's about time for us to bring a close this gorgeous day. I think he's probably going to get on the river here pretty soon, aren't you?
Take advantage of this weather, that's for sure.
Yeah. And so I want to thank you all for joining us today. And remember what we do. We do REM. We remove trash and debris daily. We educate our community on pollution prevention, and we monitor water quality and stormwater management. 2 ways you can help out is donate to Fort Loudoun Lake Association at FLLAKE.org. It's very easy. We got a quick little donate now button on there. And Asher can get out on the water more. And we can also go out and educate more about how not to pollute. So maybe we can make his job less. We certainly would love that. And please, volunteer. We love volunteers. It's a great way to help out your community and to feel good about what you're doing. And you're going to learn more about the lake and its state of mind, I guess, its state of being.
State of being.
Yeah.
Always welcome out on the boat with me.
Oh, there you go.
I'll take a volunteer out to help me anytime.
Well, thank you, Asher, for being here.
Thank you, Angela. I appreciate it.
Taking time off the river to be with us. And until next week, thank you.